Hello, world. I am chatting with our featured entrepreneur, Danielle of In Her Beauty for the Black Business Connector. Say hi to the world.
Hello, world. Happy New Year. Well, I shouldn't say Happy New Year because I know the time you see this, it's February. But happy health and success into 2022.
Yes, happy health and success. I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about you so that people can get better acquainted. You are a pro makeup artist and
Yes.
you also are a hairstylist. So you have a couple skill sets you bring to the beauty counter, as well as a male groomer, which I think is really interesting and really needed. It's like a new way of getting men to see themselves, I think. And you are also a beauty advisor and educator, right? So tell the world a little bit more about yourself and about your business.
All right. So thank you for that lovely introduction, Beth. As you stated, my name is Danielle Waugh. I am the founder of In Her Beauty. I started my business, I think we're approaching my 9th year in the beauty industry. And for me, I always had a knack for makeup and all things beauty, but I never considered it as an option for a form of revenue stream for myself. I actually wanted to be a lawyer growing up. I wanted to be Matlock, the female Matlock.
I love Matlock growing up.
Who doesn't love Matlock, right? So, I love him, and that's who I wanted to be growing up. And along the way, I guess the journey changed a bit, and my heart just kind of wanted to see where I could go with this beauty industry thing. And I know everyone thought I was crazy because the time that I made the decision to come to the beauty industry, I had a really, really great job that I had gotten fresh out of college. That was an amazing opportunity. But the heart wanted what the heart wanted. And it was to kind of venture out on my own. And it was very important to me at a turning point in my life where I could be a part of something that I see myself doing for the rest of my life and be happy. And I was very clear that I didn't want to be one of those adults that were doing a job just to do it to support my lifestyle. I wanted to do something that I felt I was really in love with. That I could not, I mean, money wasn't the driving factor when I started, because I know that there's a whole education process to it and learning the industry. So that wasn't the drive, it was the passion for making women beautiful. And that kind of led the way. And my journey is I started at the MAC counter to kind of hone in on my skills and as a part-time associate. And I worked my way up to full-time and worked my way up to management and ended up having my own store. And that was within a year and I think it was 6 or 7 months, which is a big deal. And I was always business savvy. So I was working out with my business card and made sure I gave it to everyone. And it got to the point where people used to book me outside of work. And that clientele had built itself so much that I could no longer manage my manager job at Mac. So I had to resign. And something about that, most people would say, well, you know, you worked so hard and you finally got to a position, so to speak, where most people would love to be, which is a manager at Mac. But I was very clear that that was a stepping stone, not my forever place. So with the grace of God, I was able to kind of venture out and start my own business in just doing more door-to-door services. And as time progressed, the clients that I was seeing when going to their homes would refer me to their other friends. And a lot of the clients that I had were like CEOs, CFOs, COOs, and they would use me for so many things. They would refer me to other clients and who then that actually pivoted my career into more production, theater, commercial work, which is where I kind of somewhat saw myself going, but had no idea it would take off in this way. And then in the industry, I was always into hair and stuff like that, but I was really focused on makeup. But one thing with makeup is that when you usually hire makeup artists, you hire a hairstylist, or you hire a hairstylist, you hire a makeup artist. So they go hand in hand. So one of the best advice I got was you should probably start doing hair on set as well. And so I started to do that. And along the journey, I got into male grooming because I started to do a lot of men who were on TV. I think men don't realize, I mean, the men on the couch or the men walking down the street, that every billboard they see of a man or every image they see of a man, he has makeup on. And likely I'm the person putting it on, so kind of stretching the beauty spectrum in that way, and just kind of making sure that everybody feels um, a little touched by me. Like, one of the things I always say is I like to leave my love mark on everyone that I come into contact with, hence the name In Her Beauty, which I guess is now a little slanted to In His Beauty a little bit. But that is how I kind of got my start. And 9 years later, here I am doing a little bit of everything over the spectrum in the beauty community. Long-winded, but it's the truth.
No, it's fascinating. And listening to you talk, I am thinking, actually, you are the woman version of Matlock for people, because you're kind of, to empower people, right? And you said leave like a touch, like a little bit of love on the person.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm sure some of your clients, when they sit down, might not feel so loved. Maybe they had a bad morning or a bad year or whatever it is. And so you're kind of advocating, you're helping them win their case to be confident in the world.
Exactly. It's a big deal. I mean, for the most part, when I'm seeing someone, they are going to present themselves, whether it's a presentation of themselves for their wedding day, it's a presentation of themselves for a birthday celebration, or it's a presentation for an interview that they're doing, or the red carpet, or a show, whatever it is, they're going with the intent to put on. And you're right, sometimes they come in and they just don't feel in the mood. And for me, it's just not about makeup. I take a lot of pride that when you're in someone's personal space, you want to make sure that you're exuding respect, you're exuding love and warmth so that they feel safe. I think most people, especially women, when they aren't wearing a face full of foundation, it's one of their most vulnerable places. It's almost seeing someone naked, so to speak. Yeah. And you want to make sure that they feel that they are in good hands. So when you meet me, I'm always like, I'm a hugger, because that's the first thing I want to do. I'm all about vibes, and I want to make sure that my energy is always stronger than the person in front of me. So I'm always hoping that my positivity, my satire and comical kind of lifestyle, and take everything with the wind, so to speak. I take my business very seriously, but I do believe that you should be able to laugh, about yourself and everything, and just enjoy life. I try to leave that with them. And whatever bad things they have, I try to just kind of just wash it away and make sure that when they step out in front of the people, the camera, whatever it is, they feel as light, as assured and encouraged as they possibly could be, because I'm their first point of contact usually.
Yes, I love it. And I know personally that you do this for people. This is not just talk, world, because you've worked with me. We've partnered together for two of the Black Business Connector events. And you are amazing. You really put in, you've always gone above and beyond for the entrepreneurs. I'm like, just do a quick little powder touch up. And
right. Like, no, I have to finish more. Yes.
Yeah,
always.
And you are so kind to them. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I mean, just to see people's faces light up with the stroke of a lipstick, a little mascara, it just makes us feel girly and pretty and just, our best. And I think it's the details in something like that I feel sometimes gets a little swept under the rug. But those are the things that still make us feel like the age-old saying, dress for success. I feel like a little bit of what I do, or a lot of what I do, is a part of that, because I feel when you do feel your best, you're going to present your best. So I'm happy to make sure that men and women, as they're going out into the world, look and feel their best.
Yes. And I feel like the men, they submit at first to the little makeup brush at the events that I've had, but they're fine, and they seem to enjoy the pampering just as much as the ladies, maybe with a little more laughter, but they enjoy it too.
They enjoy. I mean, I feel like they're the men who are like, oh, no, and then they sit there and they go, oh, actually, this is pretty nice, and they're the ones that are like, lather me up, I want it all, because they're so used to it, and they enjoy it tremendously. So I always want to make sure that men know, hey, it's not like a feminine thing to put makeup on. I mean, every image that you see from your most bold guy, I guess I would think of, say, like a Jason Momoa, or like a George Clooney kind of guy, or like a LeBron James. Every time you see their photos, every time you see their videos, there's one of me behind the scenes making sure that they look as polished as possible. Because guess what? Guys get ingrown hairs, they get pimples, they get scars, and they're insecure about those things too. And they want to look just as polished as we do as women when it comes to their public image. So they get a lot more glam than you think.
Yes. Yes. So where do you draw your inspiration from? I'm curious.
My love of people.
Okay.
I always say I am an artist, but what drives me so much is my love of people. And I guess seeing them smile, feeling their vibes, getting to know them in order to kind of create this experience for them is something that inspires me. Because for me, it's not a one size fits all. It's more so, what can I do to make you look and feel your best, not mirror what someone else's look best is. So I feel inspired when I meet people and I hear about their journey and their story, or how they came into contact with me, and kind of evolving on that. And yeah, I feel like that's the thing that makes me feel super passionate and wanting to go all the time. It's the people. They make me smile, make my heart smile. And I always hope that I can make their heart smile when I meet and work with them. And like I said, leave that love mark. So that's what always drives me, just the people. And it doesn't get old. Like, I think when a lot of times I'm doing someone's, makeup, unless it's like a super, super celebrity where they have to stare in the mirror as they're getting every detail done, because they are very particular about their image. There's a reveal moment where a woman grabs a mirror for the first time after getting everything done. It's just like, oh my God, like that look never gets old. And it is the most rewarding feeling to see it continually, to know that I made someone's heart open up and make that connection between what they feel about themselves in their heart to now have it like we're on the public for all to see. So I like to make that connection for them.
Yes, it is. It's an emotional reaction when you see
It is.
yourself made up. Yes.
It is.
That actually kind of nicely leads into the next thing that I'm curious about, because you were talking about your love for people and your ability to work with them. That's the thing that inspires you. That's what you love the most about your job. And it's evident because you're glowing when you talk about it.
I love In Her Beauty so much.
Yes. But it's also an up close and personal job.
Yeah.
And, as you know, a lot of people have been living in fear, especially if it is involving being up close and personal with people. So how have you managed, or what have you done so that you're still able to totally enjoy your job, still help people to, get their own internal glow, to show outwardly? How do you still have that up close and personal relationship without living in fear?
So I think for me, one of the benefits of doing a lot of production work and theater work is that we are tested consistently. If I have one job for the week where I have to be there for the full week, we're probably tested about maybe 2 to 3 times. If there's a week where I have 4 different jobs, guess what? I'm getting 4 tests in that week. So I think that knowing, and so are all the other people that are on set. So knowing that everyone is recently tested, it used to be 72 hours, now it's 48. So knowing that everyone is safe in that regard, I sanitize my kit completely before, in between, and after. And then also, I'm always masked up completely. I used to wear the goggles as well, but then I can't, it's just too much after a while. But I also make sure to check in with the person that I'm with. What's your safety level with me? Obviously, I'm going to be in your space. And I think number one, showing up prepared in a sanitary manner helps someone feel at ease, on top of knowing that we've all been tested. And I think the way my kit also presents makes them know, okay, she's a safe person to kind of be around. And then also, like I said, I'm a hugger. That's the first thing. I'm like, hey, I'm Danielle, I'm a hugger. And I'll ask now, which is so weird, because before I'd just hug you, and people go, oh, that's actually really nice. Now I say, hi, I'm Danielle, I'm a hugger. Is it okay to hug you? Especially now with COVID, and they go, absolutely, I've been dying for human contact. Yeah. So that's always very welcoming. So for me, it has affected it. I feel like the only time it affected is side story was one of my first big jobs outside of COVID, when in the midst of COVID, not last year, 2000, because I can't believe we're now in 2022. In 2020 was a really, really big job with one of these social media networks, I will not say. And I got there and there were a couple women to kind of get their makeup done. And we started out with like our face mask and then the face shield. And then the production manager's like, we'll feel a little bit uncomfortable. Can you guys put like, maybe take the shield, put a goggle on? I'm like, okay. We put some gloves on. And then it ended up being, can you just put a hazmat suit on? And then it ended up being, you know what? Just hand the person the brushes and tools and walk them through how to do it themselves. So that was the only experience. Was like, okay, this is weird. Why am I here? I'll take the money, but why am I here? But that's how weird it was, I think, when we first started. So that was the only kind of odd interaction that I had doing what I do, and it kind of interrupting it. Like I said, we are usually tested out the wazoo. So I feel like there is a level of comfortability knowing that the person sitting right next to you has undergone the same protocol that you have. So I feel like not super affected by, even though I know everyone in my circle or work life for the most part has been affected by it. I think just knowing that we all are tested like crazy people just helps a little bit more. And we're following protocol.
Yeah. So it sounds like basically you are doing things that you can control in uncontrollable situations.
Correct.
So you're focusing on what can be controlled.
Exactly.
In a nutshell.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which, you know, actually might not be a bad idea for everything in life, right? Focus on what we can control in life.
Yeah, you can't stress everything. I mean, the consensus is that this is going to be around in some way, shape, or form for the rest of our lives. So we have to kind of adapt to it as much as we possibly can. And we can't kind of shield ourselves from the world that actually does us more of a disservice than anything. One of the things I like to say, when everything opens back up again, I think everybody's going to get extremely sick, especially those people who have been sheltered, because there is a normal form of bacteria circulating in the world that we all are very used to. And with all the mask wearing and the sanitizing, we have made our body's immunity system lowered. So I think there's a bout of that we're gonna have to worry about when we step out into the world. So like I said, I feel like that's a dangerous zone when you kind of zone yourself out too much from the world. You're doing yourself a very, very big disservice. So live your life as much as you possibly can safely.
Yes.
As long as you're protecting yourself, I mean, you control what you can.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. It's definitely, yeah. As a photographer, I just like at the beginning of it, it was like, I am choosing to be fearless. Like I am not, you know, entertaining any other thoughts.
Exactly.
Like
controlling just
what
go
I
for it.
My mind, my thoughts.
Right. No, pretty much. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you can do.
Yeah. Awesome. So, talk a little bit about, you know, just your life in general, because you're very busy, right? And you're building your beauty empire and you're working with all these different people. But at some point, there's Danielle, and you want to enjoy the lifestyle that you are building to enjoy. Yeah. So how do you get it all to work in harmony?
I don't. I have not found that balance, which is so horrible to say. I think I had it a smidge before COVID, but I was still building so much. I do not have a good, healthy balance. I feel like my partner forces me to take vacations and take just moments for myself. And I've been saying lately, I think COVID really mentally messed me up as an entrepreneur, because it forced me to stop, and I didn't want to stop. And at the time when everything happened, they had not worked out like financial support for entrepreneurs. So that was difficult to go without money for quite some time. So what it has done inadvertently, first of all, I've worked the most I've ever worked in my life in the last 2 years. And what COVID has done inadvertently has made me forget how to say no. So if it means I'm working 3 months, Monday through Sunday, back to back, I'll do it, because now I'm like living in a level of fear about if the world is going to shut down again and how much reserve I should have. So I feel in that way, it's messed me up because I'm just like a nonstop workaholic. And I wish that I had the balance right now or the wherewithal to just pause and enjoy the fruits of my labor. But I don't know how. And then also like I really, really love what I do and I love meeting new people. So that really helps with not feeling like I'm super, super bogged down by everything. But yeah, I don't have a work-life balance in that way that maybe others have come to I guess really hone in on and take time for. I wish, but that is not me yet. But coming to a theater near you, I'll get my life together and I'll be okay. But for now, I'm a workaholic, a worker bee.
But I mean, you do have a little bit of a system in place because you said your partner will remind you. So you have some
I've gone on
to remind
vacation,
you.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, but if he didn't do it, I wouldn't go anywhere. I would not go anywhere. Like if he wasn't persistent about like, we have to do date night, we have to travel, I would do nothing but work, morning, noon, and night. So I'm grateful for him to kind of provide that balance. But if he wasn't here, I don't think I would do anything super enjoyable. I try to make a lot of time to see my friends as much as possible. But I think they all understand that my schedule. So that's another thing too. Like in my world, I have some set jobs and some jobs aren't set, and something can come up at the drop of a dime. So I have gotten my family and friends into a thinking bubble or a mindset, I should say, of I know I said yes to this today, but know that it may change as we get closer to the date because work calls. And they're all understanding what it's like to be an entrepreneur through my eyes. So if something comes up, they'll go, oh, I'm disappointed. And I was like, but it's for this particular client. To go, oh my God, do what you gotta do, girl. Do like whatever. Like they don't even care. They're like, tell me how it went. So I think that that's a good help. So I don't feel as guilty when I can't get to hang out as much as I would like to. And also knowing that everybody is supportive of me becoming the best version of myself as my business evolves helps me not feel like I'm missing out too much. And they're living vicariously through some of my stories. But on my own, quite haven't found the balance and I'm still waiting for it to happen. So maybe when COVID settles again after this variant over Omicron, which I think they said the peak is supposed to be in February, hopefully by March,
I
I'll
mean,
start to
I think
mentally
it's been
chill.
changing. I thought at one point it was in mid-January. Yeah, they don't know. You just have to
Who the
live
hell
the best
knows?
life regardless.
Exactly, Beth. That's exactly what it is. So we're doing what we can.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I think what you were saying is key because, like, it's true. As entrepreneurs, we will keep going because a lot of times we really do love what we're doing, and so
Love it.
the relationships that we have are so important. Who we pick to have as a partner.
Yeah, it is, and they have to be super understanding because it just makes life much easier. I know that things are still going to get done when I'm not here. I don't feel like the ball is completely dropped. It's just an easier life having a partner, but most importantly, a partner that actually understands the nature of the business. It makes your life a million times easier. And I'm grateful to have someone that's just like, all right, I get it. You got to work. You know, you're not working a 9 to 5. You're not getting a guaranteed paycheck every week or two.
Right.
So hustle. And I think also I'm not living my life as such a, oh, I hate my job,
Yeah.
you know, so that I think that helps him just say like, go girl, do what you got to do. I get it. I'll be here when you get back. The dog and I will be here when you get back. We're fine. That's very, very helpful for me to just kind of go out there and kick ass.
But he's still checking you and saying, look, we need to go to the
Yes.
beach for the weekends on this
Yes.
particular time. So yeah, it's like a nice support, but
Balance.
yeah,
He keeps
that's
me in check.
important.
Yeah, completely.
What do you feel is the biggest factor in your success as a makeup artist or just as a woman in business?
The biggest factor for me, authenticity. I feel that for me, I've been the same person all my life. I think I've been adulting and cheerleading and encouraging and business mind since I was a kid. And as much I feel like as that has been a burden, sometimes I feel like it's been my biggest blessing. It has kind of helped me, I guess, see things through a different lens with people. Sorry, my little thing is going off here, which also threw me off. And now I forgot what the question was, and I forgot my answer.
Oh, what you feel, it's okay. What you feel is the biggest factor in your success?
Yeah, authenticity. So yeah, I feel like I am the same person that you, what you see in front of the camera is what you see when it's off. I am who I am, and I am true to who I am, and I'm very in check with who I am. And I think that makes a huge difference. And because I'm so close to people, you can feel when someone's not being genuine. You can spot it a mile away. And I've seen it around some of my colleagues. I'm like, oh my God, this person's this way when they're in front of this person. And they're just like, no, for me, it's like, I'm who I am. I treat everybody the same, regardless of their title. And I always want to make sure that everybody feels very, very special. They always say it's not about what you do with people is more memorable than the words that you speak sometimes. Like, how do you make someone feel when you're around? You know, are you contributing energy to a room when you walk in, or are you taking away from it?
Yeah.
So trying to be a lighter kind of person when I walk into a room and almost make someone forget what's happening in their world. That's why it's all about an experience for me. It's very all encompassing. Without being overwhelming. So I feel like my authenticity has been one of the biggest drivers for my success. And in that has made me get bigger and better clients. And because of that, people refer me. They refer me and they trust me. And so I take a lot of pride in that, just being who I am and not trying to show up as anyone else. And I think that's become increasingly difficult for a lot of people because you're constantly comparing yourself with social media. So even with that, I would say try to unfollow some of your people that you feel are doing what you want to do. I know people say follow who who is doing what you are doing in life and where they are. Like, follow those people. Sometimes it can actually make you feel like you aren't doing enough in your chosen craft. You know, it can actually be demotivating. So I say choose to unfollow some people and walk on your own beaten path, because I feel like the more we kind of get into our work world, we forget the little things. And then when we start forgetting the little things, we forget the big things that actually have brought us to where we are. Everything just becomes so blasé because we're in such constant comparison. So for me, it's like unfollow those people, be genuine, and stay consistent. So yeah, my authenticity, I would say, is the overall key to my success. And I will keep my positive attitude. Even when people look at me, sometimes people go, this has to be like a gimmick. I'm like, no, this is me. I'm a happy person. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm just who I am. I don't know. Some people, I get, especially in New York, people, it's like, why are you smiling? I'm like, no, I'm happy. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't know what to say. I mean, I have sad moments, but I'm not sad now. What the hell, you know? So that's been a big thing for me, being who I am.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure people notice that you treat people the same no matter what their title is. Just like you notice, like, people are treating maybe the person mopping the floor different from the CEO. I'm sure people notice that you're treating the person mopping
everybody the same. I mean, shame on those people who feel like the people who sign their checks are the ones to impress. I mean, no. I feel like everybody is all the same, because when we walk outside of the building, there's no titles involved. You know, John Barrett doesn't know who you are, nor do they care. If they're going to curse you out, they're going to curse you out. If they're going to show you love, they're going to show you love, because they don't know and they don't care who you are. So I feel like if you're just treating the people who have the money or the title with more respect than the average human being, that says a lot about you.
Yeah,
that says a lot about you. And I find the most humble people, the most loving, genuine people, to be the ones working their way up, hustling like the rest of us. And that's what I love the most about that type of humanity.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful to see. So
it is.
this kind of ties in with that, and it might be a similar response, but secret sauces. What is the secret sauce to success that you feel a lot of entrepreneurs may be missing?
What are people missing? I would say, first of all, I think that entrepreneurial behavior, or just in general, it's a secret sauce in itself, because there's something about the average entrepreneur that makes it look so freaking easy to do what we do, that it encourages everyone to feel like they can do it too. And I'm sure you can attest to, no, everyone doesn't have that secret sauce, okay? It is the most, as much as we love it, but let's talk candid, it's very rewarding, but there is a lot, especially if you are starting from scratch and you don't have funding to get your business off the ground. There's a lot of self-educating. And I say self-educating for me. I didn't have the money to build my website, like have someone else build it. So I had to build it myself. That means I had to learn how to code. I had to learn how to format language for a web page. I had to learn what particular web page I should create based on what my competitors were doing. Because I didn't have 1,000, 2,000, 3 and up to spend on someone at the time. I had to learn how to take pictures that would illustrate my work in such a way. I had to learn how to create an LLC. Everything, sleepless nights, even down to editing videos. It's a lot of work. It's a very lonely job, because no one understands you really. So I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs tend to kind of flock towards each other, because it's always like, oh my God, like it's so much, you know, how did you get through X, Y, and Z? The average person doesn't understand. So I feel like being an entrepreneur itself is a superpower. And that's why I said to you earlier, like, you know, welcome to the club, girl, in that way, because to me, when I see an entrepreneur that's actually doing it and staying consistent, I mean, hats off to them, because it is no easy task. It is the hardest. I tell people all the time, I'm the talent. I am the face of the brand. I am the marketing person. I am legal. I am HR. I am just the accountant, like everything, all encompassing. And until you get to that place, you can start hiring people. You are a one show circus, and it's a circus. It's a circus at times. It's a circus, you know, like you're running around with your head cut off. And yes, I feel like that's the secret sauce. And yeah, because I would say that, because the consistency, people lack it. We just make it look so freaking easy. We make it look so freaking easy. And the funny thing is, I can always spot someone. I have people say, how did you do it? Tell me, how'd you do it? And I could already look at them and go, you ain't gonna do shit, which I know sounds bad.
I didn't just do it with one step.
No, you don't got the sauce. You don't got the sauce. And I hate to be like, I will never say it to them. But I think after a while, you kind of start to recognize is real. And you kind of see who's willing to put in that level of work consistently. And you know how to invest your time in them. We're the secret sauce.
We are. I was laughing when you said website. So my photography website, there were tears. I mean, I was on my couch going, why can't I connect and change the domain name? And then I changed my photography business domain name last year. And there were no tears, but I did pull onions of hair.
It's a lot. Oh my God. Like, respect must be paid to these people who do these things, because it's a lot of work, even down to, I decided a few years ago I was going to do YouTube, and they make it look easy too. You're like, I can do that. Do what? I mean, from purchasing the software to edit a video, that's step 1. Getting a background, setting everything up, that's number 2 through 50. Learning how to, I've always been a very good public speaker and present well, but learning how to cut it in such a way that you don't have to do so much editing on the background. So what would someone would see that would take maybe a 10-minute video is actually a 5-hour video that you've edited down. So learning how to understand that craft of stopping the video and doing something and coming back on, editing a video, learning how to, first of all, learning how to use Final Cut Pro. That's no easy task. Like, it is the hardest thing, and learning how to find the right accountant that actually works with entrepreneurs, small business owners, so that you can understand the tax codes. I mean, my first year, I had someone screw me over with my taxes, like screw me royally. And I ended up owing so much money to the IRS. I just didn't know what the tax laws were for small business owners. Learning just that, because you just don't know what you don't know. Right. And that was frustrating. It keeps evolving. I feel like now I'm around enough entrepreneurs to kind of pull resources from them and understand certain things, but starting out is no easy task at all. And the website kicked my ass. I am, even now when I want to change something very small, like, sending out mass emails, I'm on the phone with like the domain manager, like, hey, like, how do I do this simple thing? And they go, oh, Miss Waugh, you can do this. And it seems so simple, but it's not. It's just not. It's just not. Yeah. So I'm praying for the point that I get to the point where I can hire more people to do things, which I think also then lends into, who do you trust your baby with? Because this is our baby. Who do you trust your baby with, And I think that's a difficult thing. So when I get to that place, I think my business will expand tremendously. But for now, it's my baby. And I think there's also this invigorating thing about the fact that I've been able to figure out so much on my own. I kind of want to keep going.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not the detriment of me, but I feel like I can figure that out too. So I'm just holding on to everything as much as possible until I can't anymore. And I spend, and I'm like, okay, now I can hand things off to other people who will have my best interest at heart with my business and treat her like the princess / queen that she is.
Yes. It's so true. And I when I did the Black Business Connector website, that's beyond my skill level. So I have a website designer, but the directory itself is a great way for people to find, an accountant, because we have accountants that that are listed that are familiar with those business tax laws and everything. So like, just even being able to create a resource people can use, including other entrepreneurs, to learn or to, access services that are
bless me.
Bless you. Incredible people who actually know about, the different types of tax laws.
Different types of tax laws. It's life-changing.
It is. Yeah. So let's wrap it up by telling the world how they can connect with you.
So you can check me out. My name is In Her Beauty, NY, INHERBEAUTY. You can find me under the same handle on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, my website. Everything is under the same handle, and I cannot wait to see and connect with you guys and make magical glam memories together.
Yes. You are awesome. You definitely do help people to have like good memories of the whole experience. So thank you.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And I am wondering, do you have any last words or thoughts or ideas you want to share before we end?
Well, one of the things that I always like to say is make sure that you stay beautiful on the inside so that it exudes on the out.
Yes.
That's my tagline.
Yes, for sure. There's no point being pretty if inside is ugly.
Yeah, it'll show and it looks bad. It's like running mascara and smeared red lipstick. It does not look good.
No, it does not. All right. Well, thank you, Danielle. So you guys can check her out at In Her Beauty NY, and have a good evening. Thank you.